Hey guys, how are you doing? This, of course, is Rob of Rule of 2 Review. Welcome back to the channel. And today we are going to do something a little bit different. Although it's not something I've never done before. It's kind of just a little bit of a Rule of 2 Review update, an update from me to you guys about the channel, about YouTube, and all sorts of things. And I have done this, probably 2 or 3 months ago, I made sort of like a random update video that turned out to be really long about me just kind of BSing to you guys about all sorts of things on how Rule of 2 Review is going, what I thought about running this small but slowly growing channel, how it fits into my life, all these different things, and some of the stuff I was planning on doing going forward. And that was actually a lot of fun. I kind of liked just kind of pulling the veil down and just sort of BSing and literally just kind of spewing random nonsense from my head to you guys about YouTube and about the channel and just about what's going on with me. And that's sort of what this is again, although I kind of want to cover some different topics and get a little bit into some of the monetization issues that's been happening with YouTube and just my personal opinion and perspective on that issue from somebody who was, again, like a smaller channel with still a pretty decent following, who gets good views for the amount of subs that I have. And just kind of sort of, I don't know, just talk about that stuff. And I think I have to say that other than that one topic that I know that I'll hit on, I don't really have much of a plan for this video and this kind of update. I just sort of realized, I just passed 4 years on YouTube and things have gone really, really well for me, at least as far as what I expect for somebody who doesn't do YouTube full-time, has no aspirations of doing YouTube full-time. I just kind of live my life. I do the things I do. I'm a really busy person. I have a great career, a successful band, and I also just happen to run this small gaming YouTube channel. And, like I said, I guess I just didn't really have a plan. I just kind of wanted to just talk about what it's like to have a YouTube channel. And I kind of enjoyed that. That sort of made me a little bit excited to do. And, I'm recording this on the day of the Super Bowl. Super Bowl 52 happens in a few hours, and we'll be having some friends coming over. We're going to be eating and drinking and doing the whole thing. It's going to be the most boring Super Bowl ever. The Patriots and the Eagles. I just could care less about either team. But you know what? The Super Bowl is always the Super Bowl. But since I have so many hours to go, it's like, hey, I'll be having fun a little bit later, but I really wanted to sort of just have this conversation and make this video. So yeah, running a YouTube channel, I guess that's kind of what I wanted to discuss a little bit. Again, for somebody who does it only on the side, mostly for fun. I take it very seriously, but it is also something I do just for fun. It's like a hobby on the list of things that I do. I work. I have a lot of friends that I spend time with, big social life. I see a lot of movies. I'm watching Star Wars. I'm hanging out with my girlfriend. I'm playing in my band. Oh, and then I also have this YouTube channel. I do this thing called Rule of 2 Review on YouTube. I make a couple of videos a week. I take it seriously, but it's just a fun hobby, and kind of what it's like to run a channel from that perspective and kind of how I rank it in the hierarchy of what I do, because a lot of people do YouTube. Some people do it full time. Some people have humongous careers and are millionaires and celebrities. Some people do it full time, but on like a medium-sized scale, like some other friends of mine and people who you guys know in this community, the gaming and the Nintendo community. Some people do it and they really struggle to get off the ground, and they struggle to be serious with it. And, they can do it for years and years and not even reach the kind of super small success that I have been fortunate enough to reach. And so for me, I think it's what I've said before. Rule of 2 Review and running a small YouTube channel is just a passion project, and what I love about YouTube is that it is something that people can make a really serious go at, and that there are people who can make a living, even at smaller tiers, man. Look at some of the other people in this community. I don't want to sit here and name drop and leave people out or include people and make people feel included or excluded, so I don't really want to do any of that. But you guys probably know a lot of the other people and creators I'm talking about. And like I said, I'm friends with a lot of them. And that's like kind of the smaller to mid-size YouTube channel. And a lot of these people, good friends of mine, they're doing it full time. They're able to achieve it. Some of them have families, and they're able to be part of the income of their household because they have a YouTube channel. And again, in our space surrounding gaming, that's like the gaming YouTube side, and they're able to do that. And I think that that's freaking awesome and fantastic. And when I first started doing YouTube, I was like, I kind of had a little bit of like that twinkle in my eye of, oh, maybe I could make this like my full-time job in a couple of years. How cool would that be if I just did this and worked with video games and video format on the internet? How amazing would that be? And I still think it would be amazing if I happened to grow so suddenly that I could have it as an opportunity. I don't really know that I would take that opportunity because I kind of like the security of the really awesome career that I have now, but that's just for me. For other people, it works and it makes sense. And maybe a lot of you guys out there have YouTube channels. Maybe your YouTube channel is way bigger than mine and more successful than mine. Or maybe you've had a YouTube channel for years and you haven't even been able to crack a thousand or a couple of thousand subscribers, and your videos are getting way less views than you would like. And so it's interesting to hear somebody in my position kind of talk about YouTube and what it's been like to get here after 4 years and where Rule of 2 Review is at. Or maybe you just started a YouTube channel, you're really excited at the prospect, you want to take it seriously, you want to find a way to be successful at it, and maybe you do have the dream of doing it full time, but holy shit, how do you do that? Because YouTube is like a weird, fickle beast. And even more so in the years since I started Rule of 2 Review, because of all the different adpocalypses and the controversies and the Logan Paul controversy and the PewDiePie controversy and the the YouTube Kids controversy and all these crazy things that have happened that have made it so hard to make a living. And now they've even recently changed the monetization rules, and I will get to that in a minute. So I don't know. I can understand why it might be interesting to hear someone like me talk about what it's like to do YouTube. I think one of the things that even made me realize I wanted to make a video like this is because I'd never really just spoken to you guys candidly about running a YouTube channel. I mean, a little bit as far as, oh, it's been like this and I started it this way and I might do some of these things and change the format and start doing Star Wars videos soon or whatever, but not actually, like I said, running a YouTube channel and what it's like to be somebody who has this hobby as something they do, involved with YouTube. I do make money from YouTube. I mean, I have no problem telling you guys that. I make some money every single month on YouTube. I do get money from it. So that's why I was like, I've never really talked about that stuff. And how does somebody who does YouTube from at the level that I do it at, not a full-timer, but somebody who does it still very seriously and consistently as a side thing, how does somebody fit it into their life? And what is it like for somebody to have that as a part of their life, you know? And I mean, I guess one of the things that jumps to mind for me is I'm definitely proud of it. I mean, let's be real here. For me, just a humble guy who has this humble, tiny little YouTube channel, but that still has a dedicated following. I'm proud of Rule of 2 Review. I'm proud of doing this. I'm proud of the fact that I can say, yeah, I have this hobby that I do, this video thing on YouTube and on the internet, and it's like, it's successful. It sustains itself. It gives me enough reason to keep coming back and wanting to do it, and I love doing it, and I've been able to achieve a following. I am so close. I'm like less than 300 subscribers away from 9,000 subscribers. Like, that number to me is still, even after 4 years, it's astronomical to me. And it's even sillier, I guess, because there's a lot of people who have so many more subscribers. Some very good, awesome channels in the community have made like 10 times that subscribers in a fraction of the time. I don't know how. I don't know what they did right that I did wrong. And I don't want to say wrong, but I don't know what went so right for them other than making great content. I think that everyone makes really good content, but I don't know what they did that made it work. For me, that hasn't happened. I've been doing it for 4 years, and it's just been a slow climb. I think the advantage I can say, the thing that I'm really happy with, is at least Rule of 2 Review has always been a climb. It's always only ever gone up. And, you know, every time I hit a new milestone, it's like, wow, this feels so great. I hit 500 subscribers. I hit 1,000 subscribers. The day I hit 1,000 subscribers, you guys, I was doing cartwheels. I was so excited and happy for that. And anyone who's had the same thing happen to them can attest to how great that really feels. But for me, it happened after a year. Some people do that in the first couple of months, and I kind of think that, honestly, in the 4 years since I've started, really, YouTube has just grown so much, and the algorithm has changed, and there's so much more of a community coming to the gaming side of YouTube than even 4 years ago, that maybe that's part of why people can blow up faster than when I had first started, because I just think that there's, I don't know, the algorithm, I guess, works in favor of that kind of stuff, and it's great. I mean, I'm not, like, upset about it. It's shocking, but I'm not upset about it. I'm glad that people who have great content, great channels, have been able to see such success. I mean, I would like the same success. Let's be real here. I'm not pretending like I wouldn't also like to have that same success. I'd love to reach, like, I mean, I can't wait to reach 10,000 subscribers, you guys. But once I reach like 20,000, 50,000, if I ever do this long enough to reach 100,000, I don't know. I can't even start thinking about that. That's probably so far down the road. And honestly, it might never happen. I mean, if I'm realistic about it, I am just tangenting like crazy here on you guys. I hope that you can follow this and find this entertaining and informative. I'm just kind of going as ideas come to my head. But if I had to be real with you guys, I have no like indication that I'm going to stop doing YouTube or running Rule of Two Review anytime soon. But given the pace of my growth and taking 4 years just to hit 8,700 subscribers, I would be shocked if I'm doing YouTube long enough to even hit 100,000 subscribers. Unless I hit the viral moment that a lot of other people have hit that Rule of Two Review has never hit. If I don't go viral in the next year or two and all of a sudden have this massive surge of sub growth, something's going to happen, and I'm sure I'll end up just no longer doing this well before I'd have an opportunity to hit 100,000 subscribers. I mean, if I went at this same pace, it took me, 8,000 subscribers took me 4 years. It's going to take me like another, 10 or 15 years. Or no, probably 20 or 30 years to hit 100,000 subscribers. So obviously that's not going to happen. I would have to go viral. And for some reason, Rule of Two Review, I don't think is destined to go viral and have that moment where so many people tune into the channel. I thought I had it last year. Earlier this year, actually. Well, no, wait, I'm sorry. It's just now 2018. So last year, early 2017, I almost had that moment. I think that probably would have helped me. And unfortunately, it passed me by, and that's okay because it was still a fine thing, and it's fine. But I was like, oh man, I was so close to having that happen. I worked so hard to get to this moment, and it almost was there, and then it didn't happen. But that's okay because, again, even though I want that stuff to happen, like selfishly for me, like I said, I just love doing this. I love Nintendo. I love video games. I love that Nintendo is in this amazing age with the Switch where everything is going so right. I love talking Star Wars and the occasional Star Wars video I make because I actually like Star Wars more than anything video game related. So I do this because it's just fun for me. And like this whole tangent started with me talking about how proud I am. I'm proud of the fact that as a side thing I do just for fun occasionally, I've been able to amass almost 9,000 subscribers. 9,000 people is insane. That is so many people to me. And to have so many people subscribe to Rule of Two after a couple years, it feels great, and I don't know, I should probably get to the monetization thing because I know a lot of you guys are probably curious to hear me talk about that and what's going on because that is a whole crazy mess. So YouTube monetization and Adpocalypse 3.0 and all of these different things. What's going on here? What's the real deal from my perspective? Again, a smaller YouTuber with only almost 9,000 subscribers, somebody who is monetized, somebody who will always be monetized according to these rules because I far exceed the requirements that they have now with the big change. What's going on? Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, honestly, I don't even think I've made up my mind on if it's good or bad, to tell you the truth. I think that it's bad in the sense that it makes it so hard for legitimate and sincere, genuine new channels or small channels who are out there fighting the good fight and probably have that twinkle in their eye I was talking about of wanting to make money and make a career out of YouTube, which is a platform that allows for that to happen. And it does make it hard. It makes it so much harder for them to get ground and get footing and get growth. And I think that sucks because not that long ago, 2 years ago in my life, 2 years ago, I was pretty much in that same boat. And I don't know if I would have qualified for monetization even 2 years ago with these new standards that are going to kick in the next couple of weeks here. And I feel for the smaller channels and the smaller guys and girls out there trying to do something, whether it's in the gaming space or the knitting space or the art space or the dancing space or the sports space, politics, religion, whatever you want to do. We have to remember YouTube isn't just a gaming platform. It's for so many people. And it sucks that all these different things that have created this new monetization, it makes it harder for those guys and girls to do it. And like I said, 2 years ago, that was me, man. And I would be so sad if it was happening to me. But at the same time, I do understand why YouTube is doing it. There is an argument for how YouTube isn't proactive, it's only reactionary. And I think that is YouTube's problem to fix, absolutely. The problem is these monetization rules are coming out of the fact that YouTube wasn't smart enough or have the wherewithal to get ahead of problems and nip them in the bud and stop them before they became an issue. And instead, once a couple of stupid bad apples make huge mistakes or whatever happens and they're so terrified of advertisers leaving, they're willing to make reactionary decisions that actually screw all the sincere and good people and only benefit themselves and the advertisers, and they don't care about the business platform that they've created. So that part is very true, and that is YouTube's bad 100%. That being said, we're still in the position that we are. YouTube is in the position it is. The adpocalypse is a real thing that's happening, so they have to do something. Whether or not they missed their opportunity, prevent it in the first place, whatever, they're here. And so they have to do something, and I can see the benefit of making some of these new monetization decisions because it can help curb some of the issues and some of the people who steal content and upload it to other channels and some of the people who are out there just to be trolls or just to be negative and create problems and to just be really vile and mean to people. Trying to stop that is a good thing. It's a noble thing. And this new monetization can help curb some of it from what I see. So there is that. And so that's why I think, like, you guys know how I like to break down issues in gaming, and that's true with most things. I think that there's two sides to the coin. It's not just it's 100% bad or it's 100% good. It's neither. There's gray area everywhere, including with this new monetization. So, that's the good and bad that I see. It's not going to affect Rule of Two review. It's not going to affect me as far as getting monetized. Like I said, provided I don't actually give up on Rule of Two review and just disappear, the channel is always going to be monetized. I'm in the clear, but that doesn't mean I don't understand the smaller people trying to do the real thing. Now, here's the other thing I would say though. I know this might be controversial, and some of the smaller channels who are upset about the monetization might hate hearing me say this, but I have to be a little bit real here. Even though I think in a perfect world, I would probably ask YouTube not to be making these changes, to just let it be what it is, but whatever. So here's the thing when I think about smaller channels and getting upset about the monetization. At the level any channel is at, okay, let me rephrase this. Any channel that is small enough or new enough to not be monetized with these new guidelines, I can tell you guys, as somebody who's been doing this for 4 years and making money for most of that time, those channels are already not making money. I would think a channel small enough, less than 1,000 subscribers, less than 4,000 hours watch time in the last year, I think they might get a $100 deposit from Google AdSense once a year, maybe. Especially now that there's even stricter monetization happening as far as ads playing on videos. I mean, you might even be able to go 12 to 15 months without ever getting 1 cent paid to you from doing a YouTube channel, if that makes sense. People who don't do YouTube might not understand that. People who do YouTube big or small, you do understand what I'm saying. You're not making money at that level. And the only reason I feel like some of the arguments against this might fall apart is people say, oh, now with these new monetization, I can't support the channel because I'm not making money. You're already just not making money. You're just not making money. If you're doing sponsorships or Patreon, different story. I'm talking about getting paid from YouTube, from AdSense, and from ads playing on your video. You're not making money there. And so no one at that level is sustaining themselves, their YouTube channel, or their livelihood with income from YouTube. It's not happening. And so what I see happening with these changes and how it affects smaller channel is a small channel is like starting here and trying to get to the point where they're making money consistently on YouTube. Oh, here it is. I've crossed the line where now I'm making money with YouTube, and eventually I'll be able to just pay my way. All that's happening now is it's not like, oh, I'm making money to sustain YouTube and YouTube's taking away from me. All that's happening is the line you have to cross to make that money is just being pushed farther away. I don't know if this makes sense, and hopefully the visual helps, but really, it's just a line getting pushed farther away from smaller channels, and that sucks. I don't like to see it. I'm not in support of it, but if we break it down realistically, I think that's where some of the arguments fall apart. I mean, people can't say, oh my God, I could do YouTube before because of all the money I'm making, and now I might not be able to do YouTube because I'm not going to make money until I get 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours watch time. No, like those channels, barring the crazy circumstance that I can't possibly picture, those channels are already not making money. They're already not using YouTube money to pay to keep their channel going or to pay their bills at home and to keep themselves, to keep their livelihood going. That's not happening. All of those people either have jobs or have a living situation where they don't have to have a job and they don't have to make their own money. And so to smaller channels, that's the one thing where I say the argument falls apart. However, let me bring it back and say that doesn't still mean that I agree with it. I'm not saying that I agree with YouTube doing it, and I think it sucks that YouTube is making it harder for smaller channels to gain footing and to start making money, and I think it sucks that YouTube is pushing that line farther away from the smaller channels. It is a shitty thing, and it's something that I hate to see. But I think that I need to still expose people complaining about that, making those complaints, because it's just not true. A channel that small is not making money from YouTube. They're not making money from AdSense, I can tell you. As somebody who I get whatever, between 60 and 80,000 views a month, normally, and the amount of money I make, and the amount of money I was making 2 years ago when I had just over 2,000 subscribers, I would probably get paid, because you have to cross over $100 AdSense to get a deposit from YouTube. I was probably crossing that $100 threshold every 3 to 6 months. So just a couple of times a year, I would get a small deposit of just over $100. And that was when I had 2,000 subscribers, So think about that. So as somebody who has 700 subscribers, they're getting a Google AdSense deposit maybe once a year, like I've already said. So anyway, I'm getting long in the tooth here. The point is, I just think that it sucks to see. I wish that this wasn't happening. But, I don't know. I guess it is what it is. So yeah, anyway, I just kind of went off and off about all sorts of different things here. I guess bringing it back to Rule of Two Review, just kind of reiterating some of the things I've already said. I love doing it. I'm incredibly proud of it. I do it because it's fun. And I think that that's the best way to be successful at YouTube, And that's almost a suggestion or advice that I could give somebody, And I'll say something interesting too. And this has been really unfortunate to see. And this is why YouTube is a really scary thing to try to consider doing full time. The channel growth in 2016 and 2017 was so good for me. It was really great. It was super consistent. I did have a couple of months where things went out of control. The views went totally nuts. The subscription pay, the amount of subscribers coming in was like so fantastic. It was so wonderful. But that shit ebbs and flows, man. It would be up here and I'd be like, oh my God, if this continues, I'll reach 20,000 subs in the next 2 months. And then it just goes down and it just slows down incredibly. And for example, right now, December 2017 and January 2018, which just concluded, this is, the first week of February here. The last 2 months, December and January, have been so bad for Rule of Two Review. I cannot tell you how slow things have gotten. It's slowed to a snail's pace. My average views, for Rule of Two Review, I'll tell you guys some inside stuff here. My average views are probably around between 2,000 and 2,500. I get the occasional video that, only just barely crosses 1,000. And I get the occasional video, actually pretty often, that is well over 3, 4, even 5,000. So that happens pretty consistently. But I feel like my average is about 2,000 to 2,500 views. And my average sub growth was around 10 to 15 a day, which was like, I don't know, around 300 a month. I'm not doing the math here. I'm trying to remember what I've seen in my analytics. For a while, my average sub growth was about 300 a month. And that was great for me. I was like, this is awesome. If this kept up forever, I'm totally happy. But in December and January, holy freaking cow, it just tanked. My subs were going down to just like 1 or 2 a day. Sometimes I would get negative. Sometimes I would get 8 or 9. And my average views have only been around 1,000 or 1,200. I don't know what's happened. It's just a precarious nature of YouTube, man. The algorithm is changing. The monetization thing sucks, and it is what it is, And I haven't done a lot to change my format, to be fair, but I'm busy. I don't do YouTube full time, so I don't have time to do crazy editing, do crazy special effects, come up with skits or try to be funny or whatever, and I'm probably not going to do that because I don't have the time to. YouTube to me and Rule of Two Review has always been about, it's just been about, hey, I'm a guy with a big personality and a lot to say and a lot of opinions about things I care about and I love. And Rule of Two Review it didn't start out this way, but it became about video games and Nintendo. I'm trying to squeeze in some Star Wars stuff, and like I said, I do that because I love to, but really, that's what Rule of Two Review has become, and I'm fine with that, because I love Nintendo and video games so much. It is a hobby I live, and so it's really just about, I just need to put myself on camera and just talk to you guys about things happening and what I think is interesting, and it's always going to be that, but still, to have such a sharp decline in December and January, it's crazy. It came out of nowhere, man, and I think it's been slow across the board for a lot of people, to be fair, And it just goes to show why putting all your chips in YouTube is a very scary thing in my opinion. And while I'll probably never do it, no matter how big I get with Rule of Two Review, I don't think it's ever going to be a safe thing or a smart thing to do just for me. Other people, that's fine. You keep doing that. There's some people who work so hard, make great content, and see enough success to sustain themselves. And I love it. I just want to see it continue for them for always. For me, the idea of doing YouTube full-time is terrifying because of exactly what I'm talking about. It dipped so hard the last few months. If I was making my living off of YouTube, I would be terrified at how little money I was going to be making, you know, and you know, I provide the majority of income in our household. My girlfriend is working really hard to hopefully change that, but she makes really good money. She busts her butt, but, you know, just being candid with you guys, I happen to be the person who brings in the larger percentage of income into our house. And so if that was me and I was doing that through YouTube, December and January would have destroyed that, and we would be really scared right now. So just a little piece of advice to any up-and-coming YouTubers and people who have that twinkle in their eye, like I've said a few times about doing YouTube full-time, just remember that YouTube is on shaky ground, man. It might not even exist in 5 years for all we know. I mean, it's so inconsistent and hard to predict. The adpocalypse thing that's happening, it has been hitting me, you know, beyond just views and subs slowing down. It has definitely hit me. I mean, the stupid yellow icon thing where it's like, oh, your video is not approved for all advertisers, so you have to request a review. It's garbage. It's so ridiculous what's happening here, and it's such a lie on YouTube's part, man. Like, because there are so many inconsistencies with how it happens. You can do things like change your thumbnail or change your title to get the monetization added or removed or whatever, and I even tweeted about that recently. And there's stupid things like, oh, it's a robot doing it. We don't have people doing it. It's a robot. Well, if it's a robot, then it shouldn't even go into any sort of period of time where it has to review. It's an algorithm. It's a robot. It's a machine. It should instantly be able to notate, oh, video is uploaded. It's internally flagged for review based on what we think is review. Robot looks at it. Within a split second, a freaking robot should be able to have scrubbed the internal data of the entire video and then determined approved or not approved. It shouldn't be like after a day, it's all of a sudden flagged for review, and then it goes into a period where, oh, it's flagged for review, and now it's being reviewed for a period of time. And YouTube tells us it's not people reviewing it. It's not manual, like humans doing it. It's a robot. And so if it's a person doing it, yeah, it's going to take time for them to go through videos and then eventually get to your video, review it, and then send it on its way to do whatever. But it's obvious, they're telling us it's a robot, so as soon as it's internally flagged, the robot should, within a fraction of a second, determine if it's good or bad, and then the decision is made. But that's not what's happening, which tells me that YouTube is lying about something behind the scenes, or the system is just broken. Because I don't care how many videos are being uploaded, it shouldn't take days, sometimes days, for robots to review a video and determine if it's good or bad. Not to mention other stupid things like, you know, and I've seen other creators talk about this, and I agree with this, like, at some point, a whitelist needs to start being created. People and channels who consistently have videos flagged, reviewed, and then released as okay for monetization, at some point, channels need to hit a threshold where YouTube just says, you're good. You're obviously not making stuff about YouTube kid stuff and all those gross things, and you're obviously not talking about crazy political news controversies, and you're not swearing a lot, or which shouldn't be a problem anyway, and you're not doing non-advertiser approved things. You're fine. You're talking about video games or comic books or nerdy things. Why would that not be advertiser friendly? It's so obvious. And the fact that YouTube isn't starting to whitelist people is really disgusting. Obviously, there's problems with favoritism to bigger channels and the NBCs and ABCs and the CNNs of the world. The bigger channels like, you know, the PewDiePies and the other channels like that. But even those guys are still, Philip DeFranco, PewDiePie, huge channels, H3H3. They're also having problems with this too. So across the board, it sucks. I see it a lot and it sucks. But I always get approved once I have someone review it. So I don't know. At this point, I am just rambling. And I'm actually getting heated about the YouTube advertiser thing. So I really should just wrap this thing up. So if I'm going to end this here after whatever, probably 25 or 30 minutes this is of me just BSing about "Oh, I'm Rob. I have a YouTube channel. It's called Ro2R Review, and I like it a lot, and sometimes I make money off of it." That's been pretty much this video. Also, YouTube is dumb, and their algorithm's broken, and demonetization is stupid, and screws over smaller YouTubers. Like, that's been this whole video, and it's just been, like, my unfiltered thoughts, man. I didn't think about presenting this as, like, the actual way I normally present a video. So if I was going to end this, I think it's everything I just said. It's everything I just recapped a second ago. You know, I do love doing YouTube, and I feel like anyone who looks at doing it, man, you know, I'll give a couple pieces of advice here for smaller channels who want to start to come up and do something serious. A few things I think are really smart to do. One, consistency. A lot of people talk about this. You want to be consistent. Absolutely. You can't just put up videos every once in a while, and you can't consistently change your format. I think that what you should do is decide on a format, decide on what you want to talk about or how you want to present your videos. Are you doing it vlog style like me? Are you doing it like a news presentation? Are you doing it with a bunch of editing? Are you doing it with fancy special effects and music? Simple, complicated? What are you going to do? What do you want to make your theme about? Stick to and commit to your theme, and then find a way to make your videos the way you're going to make them. And just make your videos that way. That's why Rule of Two Review is what it is. You know what it's going to be every time you look at one of my videos, because you just know what Rob does. And so whatever you want to do, find the thing you want to do and commit to that thing. Then you do need to be consistent, whether you put up one video a week, 2 videos a week, a video every day, which I think is crazy. Or if you want to do one every, I mean, however you're going to do it, you need to be consistent so people know that you're worth subscribing to, because they can rely on you updating content regularly. You can't just come and go as you please, because that's how you just disappear and fade away into obscurity. Also, as far as presentation, I recommend the most minimum of production value, for example. So I think for myself, the success I see and why people like my videos is I have a decent camera, which a lot of phones can get that job done. So that's one of the easiest things. Have a decent camera, decent picture quality. For myself, I also use a microphone. I don't have room volume. I think one of the things I hate the most in a YouTube video is when you can tell there's like a room mic somewhere or just a cell phone mic, and that's just picking up the person talking in the room and the echo of the room there, and there's bad acoustics, there's no soundproofing, and it just sounds like somebody talking from a distance into a microphone. That drives me crazy. There's very few people and channels who I can listen to that way. And I think that for myself, because I have decent sound quality, because I use a nice mic and a nice audio recording that's synced up with the video I record, it's just enough presentation to be professional, to be perceived as professional, like, oh, I like this. For myself, this is a trick I use, and you don't have to use this. A lot of other people don't. But for me, for Rule of Two Review, this works, is the occasional jump cut. I feel like for myself, talking myself to the conclusion of an idea and then jump cutting into the next idea, I like doing that. And I think that it works with today's kind of viewer algorithm of what people like and are attracted to. And it, again, just that tiny little edit, although it's a dumb edit, I think it appeals to people. And I think that it again kind of exudes the idea of a little bit of professionalism because of just these edits, and it just keeps the ideas and the flow going, and people dig it. That's why Philip DeFranco's channel works so well, is he jump cuts every sentence, and it works. I mean, I love Philip DeFranco, and I love his format, and so those are just some examples. You know, I put music in the backgrounds and things like that, and a couple of video footage or cards or whatever. Those kinds of small things I think are really helpful and will help your channel grow. Have decent quality, have decent picture, decent audio quality, decent picture or video quality, and just the tiniest bit of presentation. Like I do like a fade in from black to I fade in and I fade out, and those kinds of things. So I recommend that stuff, man. Have a decent thumbnail, have a thumbnail style that is consistent. Don't make your thumbnails complicated and weird. Some people have busy thumbnails, and I think that actually hurts their channels as well. And I don't know. And it comes back to consistency. Just be consistent, guys. If anyone is a smaller channel trying to get started, have the littlest bit of professional presentation and have consistency and decent thumbnails, and I think that you'll be in good shape. So anyway, I'm going to end this. I've just been rambling. I am ramble on Rob today, man. I just am just kind of bleh, vomiting my thoughts about YouTube and Rule of Two Review. But, this was fun. I like doing this stuff. I like just being candid with you guys and just talking about whatever. You've heard me talk about what it's like to run Rule of Two Review, how it fits into YouTube, how it fits into my life. I'm a busy person, and on the the tier of things that I do in my life, Rule of 2 review is like number like 5 or 6 on my list. I'm just a busy guy doing other things. And hey, it's a great example of how I'm able to make this like the 5th most important thing I do in my day. And I still have achieved almost 9,000 subscribers. And I do make money every single month from doing it. So, hey, it goes to show you what you can really achieve. Imagine if somebody does try to do it full time. And so that's that. So I don't know, man. Tell me what you guys think. Did you make it to the end of this video? This is going to be half an hour of just Rob spewing his thoughts about YouTube. But I'm just kind of curious what you guys think. You know, I want to hear you chime in, talk about the monetization. If you're a smaller channel, talk about your channel below and how the monetization has affected you, how it's going to affect you. What are your plans? Is it going to make it harder for you to make a living? Is it going to change your money situation? Is it going to make it better or worse? What do you guys think about all that? And that's it. So I'm just going to end this, man. So, you know, thanks so much for tuning in and watching this very long video of Rob updating about Rule of 2 review and YouTube. And I hope you guys got something out of it. Tell me what you think below, and that's it. And hey, I will just see you guys next time on another regular video.